As a child, I used to put my hand in my mother's and measure the distance between the tip of my fingers and the tip of hers. It was something we liked to do for fun. Every time we compared our hands, we looked to see how much I've grown. I didn't like hugging my mother that much, but I loved holding her hand.
What happened? Hey mom, give back the yamang and answer.
When our fingertips were 3 inches apart, my mother's hand would swallow mine when she held it. My tiny fingers peeking between hers like a little fist with legs. Her hands helped me do everything. Her hands helped me clean my mess, washed my face, and fed me food when I couldn't do it myself. Looking back, I always remember how her hands picked me up and put me on her back when I was tired. Her hands wiped my tears and rubbed my head when I was upset. My tiny fingers felt protected in her grip. She'd take my hand and lead the way. In her hands, I felt safe. During our most frightening times, my mother always carried a sense of calmness. We left our homeland with swiftness and fear, not sure if we ever return. My father, who had set off to Cambodia 6 months before, left us with little time to even prepare. With a tight hug and a kiss goodbye, he disappeared. Into the jungle, we made our escape. There was a force in the woods, like a great knowing, like our ancestors were encouraging us to keep on going. We sought asylum in a foreign place. Reunited with my father, full of tears and joy, we had a family again, as we did once before. Strangely, being almost 2, I already knew surviving was our only concern. Our next journey took us to the United States, a more scarier and foreign place. The culture took a lot of adjusting, but we loved our new home nevertheless. Being in the States, we were blessed. When our fingertips were 2 inches apart, my mother's hand would wake me up for school. When I waved goodbye before getting on the bus, she'd wave back and then go to work. While my hands were doing schoolwork, her hands were doing manicures and pedicures.
Lee, you have a customer.
Sometimes, at the end of the day, her hands would cramp up. When they did, I massaged them for her. I liked pulling her fingers and popping her knuckles. When her hands weren't working, they were cooking, cleaning, and raising children. When she had time, she used her hands to sew. She made a few of my pajamas. Her hands would cut cardboard to make a box for her Christmas gifts. Her hands are creative. Mom, I
never get anything nice. I don't have any money. You instead both work. I hate this house. How should you have birds if you can't even support me? You should have never had children.
I'm a good man run the chair. Mondo I cheap, do I like home? Mondo I tight. I bet you poop coop. When our fingertips were 1 inch apart, my mother's hand would discipline me a lot. Bongbong!
No!
Bongbong abadi!
No!
Lamoit bongbong continue na check bano tayo. Her hands would twist my ear and wave a finger at me because I didn't like to listen. Her hands would smack mine till it turned red. Her hands would also rub those same wounds with tiger's balm 2 hours later. Her hands would rub her temples because she was stressed. Her hands would hop from salon to salon because she was being mistreated. Con sẽ hệ với wow.
Lẽ ác ngăn cậu ảo ho mà rô vạt. Ôi chăn tộc anh cả tông bạc tươm.
Nam sam hành kẹp bạc. Motorway.
Mai là mà rô vi. Á ca mà kẹp bạc. Lại tin thưa thì chạy cướp tầm tạm. Lại họ mình vật cậu ảo. Mình thưa hè xa họ. Hãnh bạc tới chạy họ.
Qua mà anh đong. Dạ bạc tiếp cướp mất tí bạc máy.
Cướp một giặt.
Mai một giặt nào cướp. Her hands would stop working for a while. Her hands would close the door when she didn't want to cry in front of me. Her hands would wipe her own tears away. Her hands are resilient. When our fingertips were the same length, her hands would drive me to school and wipe my tears away when I didn't make the cheerleading team. Her hands would clap and cheer me on at my track meets. Her hands would style my hair and take pictures of me whenever I wore a dress. Her hands showed me how to shave up to my knee and pick out a pad for the first time. Her hands taught me how to be a woman. My mother's fingertips no longer reach the tip of mine. These days, her hands work second shift packaging cleaning supplies. Her hands are as youthful as they were 10 years ago. They still take care of me and wipe my tears away. There is one thing my mother has always done for me, even before I was born. My mother puts her hands together and prays for me. Her hands would pray for me every day. Her prayers make me feel loved, but they also make me feel a little guilty. I don't pray every day as I should. When I do pray, I pray for my mom too. I pray that she is happy. I pray that I can give her the life that she's always dreamed of. I pray she knows that I know she tried her best. I pray that I can give her hands a break forever. As a child, I never understood our struggle. I had no idea about the sacrifices my parents made for my siblings and me. My mother has always been creative and resourceful in her own way. She has a mother's touch, a worker's grip, and an artist's stroke. I look at the hands that raised me and I think about how great of an impact it had on what I would do with mine.